Hello and good afternoon. My name is Ambient from my channel, The Ambient Life. I decided today to do something a little bit different. Those of you who've seen some of the videos that I've posted, either the ambient ones of the flowers or the cherry tree, will probably know that I did it at one spot. That's a local park of mine, and this is the park. It's very small. It's known as a community park, and it's the place where I do most of my walking, even though it's a small space. It's actually a really good idea. What you have, you'll have to excuse me for being a bit shaky. I'm on my it's not very much of a steady cam, but I'm on my little selfie stick thing here. I just want to walk through. It's a good idea. What they've got is a small plot of land that they've turned into a facility that's good for the community. So I'm just going to come over here to start with. You can probably hear the sounds of the traffic. Look at that. It snowed here, which is why I'm taking this film. Under the fir tree there's no snow. It needs to be a lot heavier for there to be snow under here. There is, however, if I just turn it round slowly, he said, snow on the branches all the way up to the top. It's all going at the moment. It's all starting to melt, which is why I wanted to catch it now for you to see. So I'm just walking up here because I wanted to get a view of one of my videos that I took during the summer. And the video I took was of this tree. So somewhere, if you look on my channel, because there's only 10 videos or so at the moment, is a cherry tree. This is the cherry tree that I did, and this of course now is that cherry tree in winter. But before I get closer to that, I'm just going to go over here to this side. There's the fir trees again. To these railings. Just at the top of these railings, you can probably hear the tramping underfoot. So here we actually have, if I can get through, I'll try and squeeze through there. There we go, and just get a bit of focus again. Come on, here we go. It's a crown green, bowling green. In the summertime, in that hut over there, they play bowls. And that's it there. Completely covered in snow. As you can see, there's been what looks like cat tracks. Cheeky hats all of the time. And a couple of bird tracks further over, but that's it. So let's get back out here through the railing again. There we go. It's quite a good view, isn't it? Look at that. Quite the optical illusion there. Okay, so we're going back down again. So as I say, it's a community park. It was originally owned, as I understand it, by a lord. He owned this place, and this was his house and estate, and we will approach the house in a minute or two. But that's the tree. I think I filmed it from about here, and it was full of pink flowers, and I've got some music on the background, and that's that. But actually it's such a beautiful place, I've never really managed to capture it very well. So I'm trying to do that now, because winter is stark. And it's currently -1 degrees here at the moment, and it will get darker soon. And I'm hoping that I can just get some nice video footage for you to sort of feel how it feels to be here. Let's keep going, shall we? So this is the road that I tend to walk on. I call it a dog leg. It starts to move towards the right once I get further over, and yeah, as I say, apologies for the for the little bit of shakiness. This is my first talking video, so I'm learning as I'm going along. But this is the view that I'd have when I walk around. And before I get to that house proper over there, I'm going to pop over here. Originally, I think this is where the stables were and storage for the servants' quarters or such. Possibly not the quarters of the servants, but certainly for storage, bales of hay and all that sort of thing, and of course for the horses. Now the steel boarded building there has had something of a refurbishment done. That's why it had a broken roof. You can still probably see the roof is not great at the moment. And the bits that's got some decoration on it and some artwork done on it, those were the stables and those were the storage areas and that sort of thing. Because of course you'd have horse-drawn carriages. This was built before the car, and these were actually commissioned bits of artwork by a community group that resides here. Some of them are covered over with the steel from the windows. It's possibly to prevent homeless people from squatting in there. That's the back of the house. There we go. As you can see, the red brick building there, the little one, the tiny one, which is just there, that looks like a little coal bunker. But then you've got this here, and I think I'm going to do more. Oh, can you see the squirrel? I'm going to do more of these, and I'm going to look at more sort of street art, because I don't think of it as graffiti. I do really think of it as street art, especially if it's done well. And this was commissioned work, so it is quite interesting. Here's one as well. Dominate the streets a better way. I like that. Can you see the tank where it says police? They've scrubbed the pole and you've got ice and then cream. And yeah, he's holding ice creams, and there's the one next to him they're playing. The guy at the top's got the roller skates, and there's some music going on. That's quite interesting, that. I like that. It's quite the political statement, really. And a little bit of signage, Lower Pitsmoor, 1 mile. That gives you an idea of where I am in Sheffield, I suppose. I quite like that one. Sunshine and tulips. And there's another one over here. I'm just going to move off the path so you can get back, so you can see that. Yep. Well, somebody's graffitied it. That was not very good, was it? Not very nice. Quite like the door. This is the door for that, as I said, that Crown Bowling Green. I'm going to turn it round in a minute for you to see that. Here we go. I used to play bowls as a child. I must have been about 7. People thought I was weird. So further up here, I've taken lots of photos, and I think I'm going to do more videos from now on. I've taken lots of photos of those small trees because the blooms on them and the flowers on them are amazing. So here's another one. This one you can see from the roadway, obviously. And for some reason it always makes me think of Mick Jagger, and every time I see it I think of Paint It Black, his song. It just makes me think of him singing at that time. Maybe it's just me. That's the office for the Crown Green bowling area, and I'm going to pull it back slightly so you can see what the trees look like. I'm slightly walking backwards. I'm sorry it's a bit shaky. As I said, I'm not massively au fait with this sort of thing, so it's all quite new to me. He says walking backwards. Can you see the trees? Have we got them all yet? Just about? Yeah, there we go. Tells you how much bigger they are than the houses. Okay, let's start walking forward again. I just want to show you a little bit more. The house especially, because I do like it. It's quite the focal point, and it was the house of the landowner or the lord. Sheffield is a steel town. Oh, by the way, yeah, Sheffield is my town. Sheffield is a steel town, so it could have been a steel baron something as simple as that, somebody who just made his millions on steel. Look at those fir trees. How's that for a Christmas tree, eh? It's the 12th of December. So just to give you an idea of the time of year, and obviously we've had snowfall, so that explains that. So moving down, move down this way, we'll get to see the house. And here we go. This is it. Probably be able to hear some children coming out of school in the background, but I'll keep them out of the camera view anyway. Stamp my feet. There we go. This is the path. That is a very good spot for some flowers, springtime. I shall be posting some later. This is the impressive front door. I'm moving on to the grass verge here for a second. Look at that. I love it. Just about there, you get to see the door. Quite the impressive door. Right, moving on. I think there are people in actually, doing some repair work and things. Clothes and electricals, it looks like. So, another thing that I wanted to show you quite quickly, if I could, is this. If I just show you that. So what you've got here is a sundial. I'm just focusing on there where the kids go past. Okay, so you've got a sundial here. I'm going to get in slightly further if you can see that. You'll notice that the actual part of the dial that indicates the time isn't flat or straight. It's actually set into the wall at the angle the sun would be. And it, generally speaking, it's correct. I've timed it. I've looked at it on summer's days when you get more shadow, and it is correct. And it says, at the top it says, "My time is in thy hand," and underneath it says, "Show me the light of thy countenance." So quite a religious thing there. Quite well decorated as well. I think that's what these sort of stage houses were, and I suppose it's quite the talking point for this place. So back down to ground level. The children have left now, so I feel comfortable enough to be able to move around again. So this would have been the front entrance or the front garden area. You've got your entrance here from that side, and then you've got some something of a shed or some sort of a holding. It may have been just for horses possibly, whereas the other side was more stables for other guests. Maybe this was for the tradesmen, you don't know. I'd have to research it, I suppose. And then you've got here, you've got this view of the house. So here is a garden or a decorative area with the tree, and then you've got the front of the house. So people would have come round from this side over here, the entrance here, all the way around over here and into the house, and then over onto this side. They've turned this into a five-a-side football pitch, and a cricket pitch as well. And there's some really nice flowers here during the spring, which I'm going to do. I'm going to do a walk round in spring, hopefully, and get you a good view of that. But what you've got, it was sponsored by N-Power, Northern Power Electrical. They did some community funding and they built this thing. I used to walk round this. In fact, when I first started to do a little bit of running, my very basic running I did around here, and it was 30 seconds of light running and 60 seconds of walking, because I'm completely unfit, unfortunately. A little bit of a hill here, a bit slippery. You hear it crunching underfoot. And then you've got this. Right, it's covered over, but it is asphalt usually, and it's big enough for you to walk around the perimeter. And then I could run around the perimeter. It'd take about 30 seconds to do the whole thing. I got quicker as time went on, of course, but to start with, That wasn't great. That's the back of the house, look. It's not as decorative as you can see, but I think some of it's been pulled down, to be honest. So let me just go this way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and show you the view over this side, because you get to see part of the city of Sheffield. Here we go. Getting there. Some plants and things in the way. Oops. And this is where it opens up a little bit. I'm just trying to get it to show where we are. Winter Wonderland, no doubt. And okay, I'm going to keep going because I'm going to go down there as well to the bottom. That's the house over the road. The lights flicker on the video, but they don't flicker in when I'm looking at it. Maybe it's just a trick of the way the lights work. So, as I said, it was owned by a very wealthy man, no doubt, because if you've seen the house there, again from a slightly different angle, but if you look down that way, where you can see the house in the distance there, around about there, that's the wall, that's the edge of the property. You can see the lights there, that's actually the road. So that gives you an idea of how big it is. And that was all his place. So I'm not sure how it worked, whether he had a will that bequeathed the land and house to the community, or whether he fell on hard times, or whether his children or his survivors fell on difficult times. I'm noticing that the video seems to be going in different colours. There's quite a blue tint to it. I think it's just because of the cast of the light with the clouds, to be honest. I'm getting a better view on some bits and not so good on others. We'll see how we go. As I said, it's the first time. So I'm coming back around here, side of the house that we looked at earlier. And we're looking now towards the park proper, so to speak. The park proper. There we go. How's that for a phrase? Not keen on the way this looks, but it is something of an experiment, so I'm learning. Yeah, this is snow time and winter time. I know lots of my friends are constantly asking me about stuff like this, so I thought I'd do that. Sorry, there's a lady in the park as well. I just come over here and give you a bit of a view. Yeah, it changed colour again. I don't know why that did that. Possibly because the sun's setting in that direction. So I'm going to start walking down. Yeah, there's more grey cloud there. I think that's why it does that. So if I start walking down a little bit, you can probably still hear the snow crunching underfoot. That's the other entrance, side entrance to the park there. So you'd get in from that side and go along the way I showed you earlier on. Here the cars going up from the side. And so this bit would have been part of the original garden. What you've got is the house on the brow of the hill there. A little bit of a commanding view with the trees and everything. And then a little bit of where the tree is just there. Just there you've got some daffodils. And that was one of the first things I put on my site, on my channel. It was 10 hours of daffodils because it was just ambient. It was just really nice. And then here they've turned it into a football pitch, but I think this would have been a wider area for parties and the like and that sort of thing. But now it's a football pitch. And the local community do come and play, or the kids play on the area. That's quite good. The trees are great. The evergreens are great around here. I do like them, I must admit. That's just another mini Christmas tree, eh? How's that? That's that one. But we're kind of going a bit downhill, as you can see. See, it feels like it's really big, but that house that I said was in the distance, and those lights, there's a bus over there. See the lights there? That's a bus. That's a building. So I'm just going to get off the path itself because it's frozen and try and crunch on the snow and keep my footing. Ooh, sorry, a bit of a shake. It's downhill, as I said. That's why. Okay, moving over this way. I'm going to try and keep it over that way a little bit so you can get more light on it. It seems to be better. The lighting quality seems to be better when it's pointed that way a little bit. What struck me was these trees and how they looked, especially that one as we're approaching now. Again, you've got a small football pitch here, like a mini five-a-side, but apparently when the chap who owned the place had this, it was a lake or a pond. So he had a boating lake here, and it kind of works because you've got a little bit of a hill towards that side here, and then you've got quite the dip on this bit, and then it rises up over there, so it could quite easily have been a small boating lake just around here. And let's move a little bit further down. As I said, this is one of my favourite places to walk. Some of my friends who subscribe to my channel, I have conversations with them when I'm talking, and got my headphones in. I have a chat while I'm walking around this park. So that's obviously the path there. Just going to spin round to this particular tree. Ooh, a little bit fast. That one. It's a white beech and it's amazing looking. I don't think this does it much justice, but I love this particular tree, daft as it sounds. Well, odd, if you can see on the ground it looks quite yellow. What's odd there is you've got leaves still falling off the trees. It's the 12th of December. It's the 12th of December and you've still got leaves on some of these trees. These trees are supposed to be deciduous. How are they deciduous? Obviously the wind has thrown these under, and I've got protection from these by the evergreens. All the beautiful evergreen fir trees. And this is what caught my eye and the reason why I decided to come in and try and do a bit of filming. That is absolutely a Christmas tree. I just love it. I think it's amazing. Look, you see the bus going past? Well, that's amazing. I just love it. So we're going to walk round. Here's what the local government did. Obviously they filled in the lake, as we saw, and turned that into a small football area. The other area that they had, they turned into a bigger football pitch, and there's some seating around it. But what they did here was the best thing for the children. You've got a little park climbing frame, a place for the children to play, slides and the like, as you can see. So you've got the climbing frame, you've got the slides, swings, fenced off as well, which is safe. I quite like that. It's a good safety feature. And then you've got like more of a climbing frame and some other little bits for them to play on. And as I said, it's a really small park, really. But I quite like this here as well. It's a little bit walled off. Oop, too far. There we go. Big old trees. Well, let's carry on walking around. So I'm going to do I'm going to turn around in a minute just to have a look and see what the trees look like from the other angle. This feels like autumn. Look at that. You wouldn't think it's the 12th of December, would you? It just feels like an autumn thing. Until you go, whoops, snow time. Lots of snow. It snowed quite steadily, and this is not a lot for us. This is pretty standard, really. So to say we've had some this year has been quite good. And I think because it's been quite mild, that's why the leaves were still on the trees, because some of them are still green. This is a deciduous tree. They should have all gone by now, but they haven't done because it was mild up until this first snow, and I think lots of them have just died off from there. Let me just turn that round slightly. There's that Christmas tree again, as I fondly think of it. And back. There we go. Yeah, apologies, it's been a bit shaky, but I'm walking around with a little selfie stick to see if I can capture these things. So and I'm using a phone. So I've got my little Samsung phone. There you go, product placement, name drop. My little Samsung phone and me walking about having a conversation. Here we go. How's that? It's quite a nice looking tree. There you go. Every once in a while they cut a few down. They cut a few trees down. I'm not entirely sure why. But they do. That's quite a nice tree. I do like that one as well. This one here, this thin stick-like one here, has some really, really bright leaves when they go. Unlike those, or those, they are much, much brighter. And I'll try and get some photos of it, or some video of it next time. I'd like to do this park in all seasons, if I can, just on a nice summer's day, on a nice spring day when the flowers are out. It looks very different every year, and I've lived around this area for 10 years now, and this place just looks different every couple of weeks. You could literally not come round for a couple of weeks, come round again and notice that things have changed, or suddenly squirrels are hopping around and chasing about, or leaves have budded up and suddenly. This section here is amazing because all of these trees flower. I think they're all Japanese cherry trees, or certainly cherry trees, because they have the really strong vibrant pink flowering. I love it. I've got photos of it, but not video. In fact, I probably do have some video. I need to put some music to it because there's some children in the background. I don't really want people seeing that and doing all of that, because it's one of those things one doesn't do. But yeah, I've got some video of it in springtime, and it's stunning. I think this time round I'm going to start doing more talking, unless of course you guys are bored, in which case I won't. But hey, drop me a comment, let me know. So yeah, here we go. We're almost back to the entrance. We've almost done a full circuit of the park. It's taken significantly longer than I expected. Around 27 minutes. That's really quite bizarre. Here's me thinking I wouldn't be able to talk for a couple of minutes, thinking what would I say? And 27 minutes later, there we go. Literally my favourite view of this park. Not my favourite season, because this looks stunning in spring and it looks amazing in autumn. Imagine that, just pink lined. The flowers are all pink and amazing. You'll be able to see the cherry tree on my previous one, on my previous video on my channel. It's there if you have a quick nosy. That gives you an idea of what I mean when I say pink. But I haven't done one with in autumn where the whole place is just absolutely green turning to gold. It's just amazing. So guys, I'm going to sign off here. I think I've had a nice view and a good look round. It's probably not been the greatest of videos. It's still quite shaky, I suppose, but it's a first attempt. Do make some comments and let me know what you think. I've decided, as I say, to do some talking rather than just the music or silently ambient doing stuff. And as I say, it's first time round, so hey, that's what it is. So if you like it, by all means stick a like on it and subscribe, and I'll see you again. Bye for now.